Maybe he was trying to come in anonymous.
That could be.
Well, there's President Mark.
Aloha, Mark.
Hey, Mark,
Welcome.
Aloha.
Aloha.
nice shirt. It's
Ron and I shop at the same places, and
Yeah.
Sandy does too. And there's probably somebody else. I don't know.
Naomi.
Naomi's. Yeah. Yep. Okay.
And Ted and I are in the red versions of them.
But yes, I see that. Yes.
I've got the old blue with my name.
You do, yeah.
Morning, Rodney.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Hey, Rodney's wearing that same shirt.
Morning, Jan.
You were just chatting about that.
She's muted.
There's Mr. Carlson. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I got a camera now.
Hey, Michael.
Hi, good morning.
How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Nice
How are
to
your
see you,
kids?
Michael.
Hey, aloha, Rodney.
Why, you're already at work.
Yeah, I got out here early today.
Whew.
Wow.
So you can tell us, is there really a time difference between Poipu and Huntsville? This is what Monica was claiming.
I think there is. There's got to be a time change.
Monica
Travel all
thinks
that way
it's
east.
time zone here.
Well, I tell you what,
Standard
guys.
time?
Mark does have speaking of time, Mark does have a very strict time commitment to end at the top of the hour. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're a minute early, but we are going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to share my screen for, where the heck is it? No, you don't want to see that. Hang on a second. I had it all there. It was all ready to go. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. So now we can share, and we can start the meeting with the bell. We're going to call the meeting to order, and next will be, if you could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And Peter Stern, I'm going to ask you to lead us in the pledge.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag
To the flag of the United States of America
and
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks. And you can sit. And last but by no means least, we have our four-way test. And Dottie, I'll ask you to lead us in the four-way test.
This is a four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First,
Is
Is
it
it the truth?
second,
Is
Is
it
it fair
fair
to all?
concern, third,
Goodwill and better
But better friendships,
and fourth.
Will it be
beneficial to all concerned.
And number five,
Have fun.
fun.
Have fun.
So now I've got to make a comment
Okay,
before you take that slide away. Oh, you took it away.
I did. But you know
Do
what?
you know how many?
We can bring
You
it
know
back.
that slide is wrong.
I do. I noticed the typos.
And the thing is, I don't know where you get that, but I've seen that so many times in these Zoom meetings. I've
Really?
seen versions where the ED is at the end of concerned, and I've seen the version without. I mean,
Oh.
this is just, a fellow Zoom traveler commenting that, this thing's running around all over the world.
Yeah. I just got this off I just did a search for Rotary four-way test, and I'm looking for a JPEG for this.
This might be the Chinese translation.
Yeah, that's it.
And Mark, my club can attest, we've had some fun ones, because we did do it one time in Spanish. I had the Yoda four-way test at one point. So I've come up with a few variations of it as well. But yeah, that's funny. When we were looking at it, I was like, well, that's not correct.
Show him the Hawaiian one.
So is the Yoda four-way is like to all concerned fair it is?
It's sort of that idea.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah. Just, you got to have fun with this stuff, especially now with Zoom. is my feeling. 'Cause
What's that?
we have fun. All
All
right.
right, sorry to take over your meeting, Mr. President.
Well, you know what? That's okay, because it's kind of your meeting. So I'm going to have Ron do the intro. Actually, first of all, I'm going to mute everyone. So I'm going to ask Ron to unmute himself, and then he will do the introductions.
All right. President Mark has been a Rotarian since 1980 and is a member of the Rotary Club of Decatur, Alabama. He is a principal in the law firm of Blackburn, Maloney, and Schubert, LLC, with a focus on taxation, estate planning, and agricultural law. Mark has served in Rotary in numerous capacities, but he holds the unique distinction of being the only Rotary president that has his own bobblehead figure. We're all sad and disappointed that we are not in Honolulu this week, and today, June 10th, would have been the last day of the 2020 Honolulu Convention. However, the first ever Rotary International Virtual Convention is on tap for June 20th to the 26th, and registration, which is free, is now open. So please join me in welcoming Rotary International President Mark Maloney with a great big Rotary Club of Poipu Beach. Aloha.
Aloha.
So Mark, the virtual floor is yours.
Mahalo. I appreciate that introduction. Ron, thank you very much for the invitation. President Rick, thank you for agreeing that Ron could invite me. And it's great to see some district, Naomi's laughing. He could have said no. I mean, we don't want Mark. But anyway, it's good to see some District 5,000 leaders here, District Governor-elect Naomi Masuno, and we've got Sandy Matsui, Ron Mabry. These are all folks that I've met. Roz Cooper, I think I see half of her there on her screen. There she comes in. And these are people that I've met, and perhaps I've met others of you in my visits to Honolulu. So, my only experience with Hawaii is in preparation for this convention. This convention that's not happening. Our very first visit to Hawaii was for what is known as the President's Nominees Orientation Visit, which we did in February 2018. And that was the first time that either Gay or I had been anywhere in Hawaii. And we've made 2 visits since that time, and we sure were counting on a nice 2-week visit with the convention this week. But that's not the case. It's my great pleasure, but I understand I'm not on Oahu today. I'm on Kauai. Am I saying that right? And so it's great to be with the Rotarians of Poipu Beach, Hawaii, for this meeting today. I'd like to talk with you just a little bit about the world in which we find ourselves. 3 months ago, 3.5 months ago, who would have ever thought that we would be having meetings regularly on a virtual platform only? I mean, it's just, it never even entered our minds. But I have been so impressed with how Rotarians have made the pivot. A lot of people think of Rotary as this old fogey organization, but Rotarians are not so old fogyish. Yeah, that got a little bit of a smile from Ron. Ron's being very serious over here. But anyway, these old fogies, they can handle Zoom. They know what to do. And Rotarians all over the world have made the pivot. And I have just never been prouder to be a Rotarian because of the way that Rotarians all over the world have responded to the current situation. I do want to submit to you and suggest to you that the greatest service we can perform as Rotarians during this time is to engage our fellow Rotarians. Yes, community service is important, international service is important, but right now during these times, we need to hearken back to the earliest days of our organization. You know, Paul Harris did not found a service organization. Paul Harris founded a networking organization. It was to create a network of business leaders in various businesses and professions. Now, we quickly became a service organization, and I'm glad we did, and we're not going to cast that away. But we need to remember that networking part. And you know, on Zoom, there is that, that icon at the bottom that says participants. I encourage you at your meetings to click on that icon. And when you do that, you'll see that a list will pop up with the names or other IDs for all of the people who are participating on the call. I submit to you that the most important names are not the names on that list. They are the names that are not on that list. Who in your club is not on that list week after week? Who does not participate week after week? I encourage you to extend the hand of Rotary Fellowship and be in touch with those individuals. Find out whether there's a health issue. Find out whether there's a financial issue. Is there some way that you can be of assistance to that Rotarian? Is there some way that you can encourage them to be part of your club's meetings? Because they need to feel that they are missed and that they are valued. And we want them to be with you not only when you're in person, but through the virtual meetings so that they will still be with you when we come out on the other side of this pandemic. I am convinced that this pandemic is a watershed moment in the history of the world, but also in the history of the Rotary. We are experiencing something that will change Rotary and change our lives for good, permanently, for better or for worse, but permanently. And we will speak of Rotary before the pandemic and Rotary after the pandemic. Just like some of us talk about our lives before marriage and after marriage. And some of us talk of our lives before children and after children. You've heard that expression when somebody says, well, when did you do thus and so? And you'll say, oh, that was BC, before children. And we will think of that BC with respect to Rotary, before COVID. I'm convinced that we're going to see a change in the way that we operate. And at Rotary International, we are already looking into how we can take advantage of this opportunity. The board has, President-elect Holger and I have appointed, at the direction of the board, a pandemic response task force under the leadership of RI Director Jeffrey Catterett. And that is a task force of 9 individuals who are looking at how we can take advantage of these opportunities to improve our organization. And we will have an interim report from that task force at our June board meeting. But at the Rotary International level, I think you are going to see committee meetings conducted virtually most of the time. There'll be far fewer committee meetings in Evanston. And I think the board of directors, while they will still meet in Evanston, on occasion, they will meet in between meetings to address things of immediate need. And the board just did that on Monday morning, where we had to address a couple of issues, and we had a special meeting, actually two separate meetings, to discuss 2 different issues that could not wait until the full June board meeting, which will be the week of June 22nd. So I think we're going to see a tremendous change. I think Rotary clubs are going to include more virtual platform, more virtual opportunities in their schedule. Hopefully all clubs will have a live streaming component that even if they are meeting in person, they will live stream the meetings so that those who cannot attend and visitors from around the world can participate. I think some clubs will start putting virtual meetings in their schedule where they meet in person so many times a month, and then at least once a month, they have a virtual meeting. I've heard stories, many stories of Rotary clubs that have far greater attendance in this virtual environment than they have in the in-person environment. Sometimes that's because people don't have anything else to do. They're all locked in. Other times, especially in big cities with horrific traffic, it's so much easier just to participate virtually rather than fighting the traffic of Calcutta to spend 45 minutes to drive 3 miles. And I think this is an advantage, and it's something we need to continue. And here's Ron Margolis has just said our club's attendance is 25% higher virtually. So that's great. And if you have a neighboring club that is not meeting virtually, we shouldn't have a choice of meeting in person or not meeting. But I encourage you, because of your experience in this environment, that you mentor that club to help them along. Rotarians all over the world have addressed the COVID-19 pandemic. There are wonderful projects being undertaken everywhere in the world. Rotarians in Italy have funded projects in excess of 11 million euros. Simple things like providing face masks and personal protection equipment, to much larger projects as a part of a global grant to provide sophisticated triage equipment to 28 major hospitals across the country, from the Alps down to Sicily. Rotarians in Bangladesh have distributed at least 30,000 bottles of hand sanitizer to those who cannot afford such a luxury. And Rotarians in Southern California manufactured 60,000 face shields. They took over some ballrooms on a couple of weekends in Orange County, California. The ballrooms weren't being used for anything else. They were able to space the tables out, maintain social distancing, and they manufactured face shields to deliver to hospitals and healthcare workers in the Los Angeles area. And I hope with this, I think one advantage, one silver lining in this dark cloud of the pandemic is that by moving to this virtual environment, we will be seen to be more attractive to a younger demographic, that they will see that maybe we're not quite the old fogies that they thought we might be. I would like to comment to piggyback on Ron Mabry's comments about now more than ever, Rotary Connects the World, the 2020 Rotary Virtual Convention. And you're here on the stage set, the presidential stage set for the virtual convention. And of course, there are a lot of these stage sets all over the world. But this is the presidential stage set up in our law library. So let me just give you a little behind the scenes view. See, that's my background there that was shipped to me. See those lights at the top of the background? Guess who got the stage crew didn't come with the lights. The president got to put up those lights. That was a new experience. I was up on the ladder with those lights. And of course, necessity is the mother of invention. You need the laptop up at a high level. So what do? You get the banker's boxes and the books, and then the laptop goes on top. so that's where the teleprompter is. I hope you can still hear me when I turn the camera away. And then there's the tripod for the webcam. And then of course, then we have the ring light. So now you're seeing behind the scene, and I know that when you watch the virtual convention, that will be a big disappointment. You find out it's just in Mark Maloney's law office in Peter, Alabama. Yeah, it's in the law library right here. All these books that we don't use anymore because everything's online, they look good, and it's a nice conference room. Of course, it's taken over for Rotary right now. But the convention is June 20 to 26. If you have not registered, please go to riconvention.org. There is a tremendous amount of information now about the convention on that website. You can register there. You can find out details of the general sessions, of the featured breakout sessions, the virtual House of Friendship. The virtual House of Friendship is going to be amazing. It is going to be open 24 hours a day for the full 7 days of June 20 to 26. And you're going to be able to take your cursor and hover. You will have a diagram of the House of Friendship, just like you were in the Hawaii Convention Center, and and hover over booths for Rotary Action Groups, Rotary Fellowships, Rotary itself, the Rotary Resource Center, Rotary Foundation, and of course, the largest booth there will be the Taipei Convention promotion booth, so that you can register for the convention next year in Taipei. As of yesterday afternoon, or as of midday yesterday, we had 23,795 registrants in just 4 days. So, as they say in Chicago, register early and often. Well, just register early. Go ahead and get your registration in. There's no cost. And I think you will find this to be an outstanding event. Now, the one disadvantage for the folks in Poipu Beach is that the general sessions are at 8 o'clock Chicago time. Yes, that's 3 a.m. in Poipu Beach. But, Greg's just, he thinks that's just really funny. And Craig, I invite you to get up for 3 o'clock. But if that's just a little bit too hard, everything's recorded and will be available on demand following it. So you can get up at a reasonable hour, get your cup of coffee, and see the general sessions from the virtual convention. This is one of the greatest things that has come out of this situation. We've made the pivot. Many other membership organizations are not having these events. Lions is not having one. Kiwanis is not having one. The Optimists are having a virtual convention, just a 2-day event, I think an hour each day, the following weekend. So, and they're charging their members for that. But at Rotary, it's open to everyone. And invite your friends to come. You don't have to be a Rotarian to register. You can access that page and register. So, Ron and Rick, in order to leave a little time for questions, I will stop there.
Mark, thank you very much for your comments and for being with us today. I'll turn it back over to Rick, and he'll handle people with any questions. And Rick will need to unmute.
Rick does need to unmute. There you go. Thanks, Ron. And I will just point out, not only does Ron have a Mahalo mark, Ron has the Mahalo mark pandemic version.
Yes, I've seen that before.
That's pretty awesome. Well, thanks so much, Mark, and mahalo, Mark, for the insight here. And I do definitely encourage everyone to go out and register for that convention. It's an opportunity that we have to. The thing everyone in my club knows I've been saying is this is the convention's never going to be closer. And then they proved me wrong, because now the convention is in your house. So this is the best it's ever going to get, man. So let's get out there and register. So anyone have questions for Mark, feel free to unmute yourself and ask away.
So Ron Margolis has asked, will the on-demand streams be on the RI site or somewhere else? My understanding, you will go to riconvention.org, and I won't say that they're playing right on that site, but there'll be a link so that you can get to the on-demand content from there. So to me, it's on the RI site. You go to riconvention.org for everything. You go there to register. You go there to see the virtual House of Friendship. You go there to enter the live stream of the general sessions or the breakout sessions, the featured breakout sessions. That's where you go for everything during those 7 days. And let me say, you know, since I can't be in person in Honolulu, since we can't be, I have a goal. I want this to be the largest Rotary convention ever. So I'm shooting for 50,000 people. And some people may say, oh, but Mark, that's cheating. People don't have to pay anything. They just stay in their own living rooms. And I say, well, let's make it the largest ever. More than 50,000 people.
I'm with you. Craig?
I got a question, Mark. So how did you get your start in Rotary, and what's your favorite Rotary moment?
So how I got my start in Rotary is that at the age of 25, Gay and I moved back to Decatur. I mean, Gay was moving back to Decatur. This is her hometown. I was raised elsewhere in Illinois, but we returned to Decatur after spending a year in New York, the first year of our marriage, where I got an advanced degree in tax law at New York University. And we started practicing law in June of 1980. As a matter of fact, today's the 10th. Next Tuesday, the 16th, is the 40th anniversary of my first day of work. And that summer and fall, a bank trust officer approached me and invited me to visit Rotary and to join Rotary. And an attorney in town approached me and invited me to visit Kiwanis and join Kiwanis. And both of these individuals were close friends of my father-in-law, whose law firm we joined when we came to Decatur. My father-in-law was in the Kiwanis Club. So strictly for networking purposes, I decided I'd join the Rotary Club. And the rest is history. No noble ideals of service above self, or the five-way test. Is it fun? Just that's what it was. Oh, my Rotary moment. I've had so many Rotary moments. It's really hard to pick. Let me give you a short version of, during my presidential year, we've visited many projects and many outstanding events. But one of the most heartwarming things, and this can be a long story, but I'm going to try to make it really short, is that we participated in a Operation Smile mission in Hanoi, Vietnam. And Vietnam is not a Rotary country, but this particular mission was sponsored by Rotarians in California and South Korea. And we were there, and we were assigned to a young girl, 5 months old, who was getting the cleft lip surgery. And she was there with her father, who was probably 27, and the mother's sister. The mother was back in their small village in the north of Vietnam to run the family fish shop because they had a big wedding to cater that weekend. And I had the opportunity to carry the baby into surgery, watch the entire surgery, carry the baby back, and place the baby into her father's arms. The father in Vietnamese or some Vietnamese dialect, sang Frere Jacques as a lullaby to the daughter. And Gay and I joined in singing the French words. And this father said, you know, that they knew before the baby was born that the baby would have this cleft palate condition. And there were some people that encouraged them to abort the child. And he said, I'm a Buddhist and we don't believe in abortion. And he had done research online and had found out that this was possible, this was correctable. And so he had hope for his daughter. And here, Gay and I, who have so much, and this particular father who has so little and was relying on the charity of others to have his daughter taken care of, he, at the conclusion of all this, blessed us. Literally, he blessed us. He came up to us, and here he is, a Buddhist Vietnamese young man, and made the sign of the cross on our foreheads. I mean, that's powerful. So that's one of many, Greg, one of many Rotary moments that I've experienced.
Well, does anyone want to follow that one up? I do see Ron had a question in the chat. Anything being done to increase capacity of global grants to facilitate larger global grant projects?
Well, of course, you know, there is this effort, and I'm not really up to speed on all this, for programs of scale. Are you familiar with that, Ron? There's, you know, to have $2 million grant, you know, one $2 million grant with an idea that we would have greater impact and perhaps have the opportunity to create more opportunities for partnership. You know, lots of people, global grants are very popular, and the World Fund has a limited amount of resources. So there's certainly pressure on the World Fund right now, and the trustees are addressing that as well as they can.
I was wondering more specifically, rather than say our club has to raise a certain amount of money, if there was any variation in terms of the policy, you know, to get more money from RI for something large like that.
Well, you know, the program of scale would be largely funded by the Rotary Foundation. The proportions that would be funded by local Rotarians would be much smaller. But I don't think, you know, I don't think there's any discussion that I'm aware of on the foundation side. And of course, you know, there is, you know, they have a separate board, and I anticipate that I will be a trustee here in a little over a year, but right now I'm not on that board. And I'm not aware of anything where, you know, you could put up 40% of the money and the foundation would put up 60% instead of the 50-50, if that's what you're getting at, Ron.
Well, Mark, thank you. I do want to be very mindful of your time. So we very much appreciate you spending some of your time with us here on Kauai. And if you and Gay ever do come to Kauai, you know, hopefully we'll be having in-person meetings by then, but you're always welcome, and we will be happy to host you. But thank you again. Any final questions for Mark?
I suspect that if we're coming to Hawaii, you're having in-person meetings.
Okay, that makes sense. All right.
Rick, I've got a quick comment here, if I may. President Mark, I'm Branch Lot Speech with the Rotary Club of Honolulu Bay, but we're very honored to have you on island, as it were. I was very excited to see that we were going to move to a virtual international conference. And I had been working with Ron Mabry about being part of the House of Friendship. And so now, through Ron getting me in touch with James Donovan, We're going to be part of the House of Friendship, the virtual House of Friendship that you alluded to earlier, and working with your staff to see how that works out. We started about 11 years ago a project here on Kauai through Rotary of placing public access flotation devices, rescue tubes. You see one over my shoulder, that shoulder, okay. Out on our
It's
beaches.
backwards. I have that problem too.
It's a little difficult, left, right. And it's been a very, very successful program, very low cost. There have been, on just Kauai alone, over 200 rescues that we know about using these rescue tubes. An ER doc here on Kauai estimates that maybe 30 lives, actually, 30 lives have been saved here on Kauai alone. We spun off back in 2010, this started in 2008, we spun off a nonprofit, the Rescue Tube Foundation, and there are now rescue tubes through the work of Rotary on all the major Hawaiian islands. There are rescue tubes, again, mostly through the work of Rotary in North Carolina, Florida, California. We're about to send 30 rescue tube stations up into the Sunshine Coast, it's called, outside of Vancouver. So I'm very excited to be able to have this platform with the virtual friendship, House of Friendship, to show other Rotarians around the world how they can step in and help slow down these avoidable drownings that happen on our beachfronts around the world. And so again, thank you for having this virtual conference and giving us that kind of a platform to step up and be able to show something that's cost effective and literally saves lives. Thank you.
You're most welcome. I'm delighted to have the virtual convention, and Rotary staff, you know, they've completely pivoted, and in 3 months' time have gone from having an in-person convention in Honolulu to a virtual convention and doing it all from their homes.
Mark, thanks again for being with us this morning and taking the time. All of us certainly appreciate everything that you've done this year, but also the flexibility in being able to respond to some very, very bizarre times and coming out on top. Thank you again.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure to be with you. Mahalo. Aloha.
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 All right, folks. I know Ron Margolis asked this question if we could record this, and just so you all know, this is being recorded. So I will make the recording available to everyone. We have at Poipu Beach, we have a YouTube channel, and I'll be adding it to that. But I can send out the raw files as well if anyone wants those. But I think that's really cool that we were able to get Mark to spend some time with us. And thank you so much, Ron, because this was special. this was something that, yeah, pretty awesome to be able to do that. So thanks again for Ron. And one of the things that was mentioned to me last week was because we are opening this meeting, and oh, Ron Margolis, the other comment I wanted to make about the global grants is next week's speaker is Ravi Ravindran, who is the incoming chairman of the board for the RI Foundation. So if you can attend that one, he may be able to get you some more information on the global grants as well. And I saw that Ron said he can follow up with you too. But because we're opening this up to folks across the district, I thought it would be nice to have everyone just go around and introduce themselves. So I'm going to go with my screen. So Ray, if you could just introduce yourself to those of us who don't know you.
I'm an old-time Rotarian here. I'm one of the old farts. And I'm with the Rotary Club of West Kauai, formerly of the Rotary E-Club of Hawaii. And I've been around with Rotary for 35 years. So that's me. I've been around for a while.
Thanks, Ray. Naomi.
Trying to unmute. Okay, Naomi Masuno, Rotary Club of West Honolulu, Rotarian for 18 years. And Ray, by the way, is the Youth Service Island Resource for Kauai. And we've been talking about some things that we can do for Kauai on the youth service side. For the district, you know, there's so much that we can do for you to support the clubs. And so if anyone is interested in participating on the district level, you know, please let us know. And Sandy's looking for people for the following year as well.
Naomi, what are you doing at the district level next year?
We've got a lot of things coming up. I hope you can read the newsletter that I just sent out, because we have a Help Wanted page where people can put postings of if you have a company that you have available positions, and if someone is looking for a position, they can post what they're looking for, their position. And this is a way for us to just help each other out, you know, and connect within Rotary. So we have that. And you know, Mark talked about how we network with the businesses. So we're launching a business directory next week, and these are Rotarian businesses, so we can do business with each other. And we just want to, in this time of COVID, we're socially or physically distanced, but we want to stay connected mentally and with our hearts. So this is a way that we can do that for now, starting now.
There you go.
So thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks. And Naomi's being very, very quiet about this, but she is our incoming district governor.
Congratulations.
Dottie, if you could introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm a Kalea member of the Poipu Beach Club, and I'm a member of the home district Wheeling Rotary Club in Illinois. Home district because that's the district that RI is in. I've been a Rotarian for 19 years, joined when I was principal of Wheeling High School. So
great.
I've been a past president of our club in Wheeling. But now I'm here for now 6 months, more than 6 months, and this is the best place to be right now. So I enjoy this club very much.
Great. We enjoy having you here, and we feel the same way. It's a good place to be. Yeah. Is it Ted? If you could introduce yourself.
Ted Fagel, and I'm Rotary Club of Poipu Beach and assistant governor for our 5 Kauai Rotary clubs. And I'm Rotarian for 5 years. No, 6 years now. 6.
Something like that, yeah. Claude. No, you're muted, Claude. I'll unmute you. I can't. Claude, you're still muted. There you go. Oh, wait.
Okay. Claude Thompson, formerly Rotary Club of Honolulu for 33 years, and then now 2.5 years with, or going to almost complete 3 years with the Rotary Club of Poipu Beach. And that's about it.
And a PDG.
Yes, PDG. Centennial year.
There you go.
2005.
Awesome. Thanks. Roz? You're showing as unmuted, but I'm not hearing her. Anyone else?
We're not hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Roz from the Rotary Club of Metropolitan Honolulu. And it's so great seeing you guys. And my president right there, when I was governor, Craig Nishimoto, we had good times together and enjoyed Kauai. Actually, Kauai was where I chose to have my district conference. And all of you guys were very, very supportive for that. I also followed that handsome guy in the center there, Claude Thompson, as governor. So it was great working with him. It's been great working with all of you. And I thank you for the invite.
Sure, sure. And Sandy. And Khaleesi.
Yes, and Khaleesi. Good morning, everybody. Aloha. It's so good to be here with you. I'm Sandy. As Rick had mentioned, I'm with the Rotary Club of Kaneohe, and I've been a proud Rotarian for 28 years. And as Naomi said, we are looking for more leaders in District 5000. I hope you will join not only Naomi's year, not only next year, let me see, what is next year? 2020, 21, and also the year I will have the honor of being district governor in 21, 22. And I am so excited to work with all of you folks. And I'm looking forward to seeing who your president is going to be during that year as well. So keep me posted.
We will.
Aloha.
Thanks. Craig.
Craig Nishimoto, Rotarian for 29 years at Poipu Beach. Currently International Service Chair and incoming treasurer, and that's my biggest fear. That's a lot of work. I don't know what I've decided to volunteer for, but nice to see everybody.
We're glad to have you. Mr. Stern. Oh, you're muted, Peter.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm Peter Stern. I was Rotarian at Rotary Club of Tahoe City before I moved to Kauai. I used to visit when we came out for 2 or 3 months, and so I knew the club, but I became a permanent member in 2006, and all in all, I've been a Rotarian for 31 years.
Very cool. Welcome. And Michael Carlson. Oh, you're muted too, Mike.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, I joined Rotary in Barbados in the early 90s, and then I moved to Vietnam, so I was disappointed that there wasn't a club in Vietnam. I lived there for 4 years. Came to the Rotary Club of Kauai in 2000. I think Nancy Kana was the president. Well, she was president when I came to Poipu Beach, so I came to the Rotary Club of Kauai in 2000. So, and now with the Rotary E Club of Hawaii. So I was happy that Mark talked about Operation Smile, because I think it's on my bucket list of things to do, to be a volunteer for that group. I did call them a couple of years ago after we've had their, one of their leaders come and speak to our club about those types of opportunities. So I put my name in the hat, and then, like, I don't know, a month later, they called and said, "Hey, can you be in India like next week?" I said, "Well, no, I don't think so." But it's still, you can go on their website and see the calendar of where they're going to be going during the year. So I encourage you to check that out and maybe try it sometime in the future as well. So thank you. Good to see everybody today. Aloha.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Rodney.
Aloha, everybody. Rodney Pasqua, other half of Jan Pasqua. Anyway, I've been a Rotarian for, I had to count actually, 20 years. Most of that was with Rotary Club of Kapa Rotary Club. And been with the Poipu Club since my wife was president. I was also president of the Kapa Club, but in 2009 and 10. And one comment when Jan was asking me about what sessions should we attend for the virtual, and I was like, oh, humbug. But today, listening to Mark, yeah, I want to attend. I want to be part of the 50,000.
Yeah.
Aloha, everybody.
I will say the one thing that you get out of an international convention, I mean, you get it out of a district conference too, but out of an international convention, you get reinvigorated into Rotary in ways that you can't even think of. It's astounding. And as I mentioned, I know I said this earlier, it's never going to be closer than being over on Oahu, but now it's literally right here. So it's never going to be closer. So this is the chance. So take it. Yeah. Ron Mabry.
I'm a member of Rotary Club of Poipu Beach.
You are?
I am. And I have been a member of Rotary since 2005, but have been a Rotarian for some years prior to that. and throughout that. I'm PDG serving 2013-14 on the mainland in Zone 33, and will also be serving as the Kauai Foundation contact during Naomi's year as governor.
And Ron is the guy we have to thank for all these cool meetings we're having. So thank you again, Ron. Branch.
I'm Branch Lotspeech with the Rotary Club of Honolulu Bay. I've been a Rotarian for 14 years now, and past board member, and have been very active in promoting, as most of you know, the Rescue Tube project and initiative started here on Kauai and spread out through the islands. The only thing I'd add to my comments earlier are that Rotary International, when we were going to have the conference in Honolulu, decided, and I guess they've done this each year with the host city, to do 2 public service announcements about their People in Action program. And so they came over in February to Maui because the Maui clubs at that point in time, just literally that point in time, were the most active with rescue tubes, and did some filming and still photography. And they also chose a project on Oahu, the village. I'm not sure the details, but creating a homeless, stable situation for some homeless peoples on Oahu. And those 2 PSAs now exist. There's a 30-second and a 60-second. They've actually been run locally on our television a little bit. I presume I've been told by Nancy Davidson, who's the brand manager of Rotary International, that they're going to be run nationally. There's also some print media that'll turn up, so that we've got 2 Hawaiian projects that were directly spun out of Rotary that are getting national attention, and very, very proud of that.
Yeah, that's
Congratulations.
awesome. And of those 2 projects, I mean, one is about literally the saving of lives with the rescue tubes. And the other one is about homelessness, and homelessness is an issue everywhere.
Huge, yeah.
So it's very, very, very awesome that we've got those going. Mr. Margolis.
Thank you. The first thing I am is showing my COVID beard, trying to catch up with Branch, but I still think I have a little way to go.
Good luck.
Ron Margolis. I am a full-time realtor broker in the states of Hawaii and Washington, and I serve as the treasurer of the Rotary Club of Honolulu Bay of Junior Achievement Hawaii, Junior Achievement Kauai, and Aloha Angels.
Cool. We're glad you joined us. Thanks. Jan.
Morning, everybody. Well, I guess I'm a club hopper because I started at Kapa'a. I was dating this cute guy at the time, and he sponsored me into the Kapa'a Club, and I was so impressed that I married him. And then I transferred to the Rotary Club of Poipu Beach, and I'm past president there. And now I'm a member of the Rotary E-Club of Hawaii. And I just have a comment for Ray Paler. I reflect your old age statement because we're the same age.
There you go. Tom. Yes, you.
I was kind of wondering. All right. Hi, I'm Tom Gross. I've been a member of the Rotary Club of Poipu Beach 17 years, 15 years, 16 years, I think 16, something like that. As most people know, I'm heavily involved in Youth Exchange, and I am the district chair for Youth Exchange. And unfortunately, this year was suspended, and but we're hoping that next year's will be bigger and better than ever. It was interesting seeing what was done virtually, because we've been having meetings. We had a outbound orientation for students because we still thought it was happening. That was done which was done virtually, and that actually worked out really well, especially for us, because it took a lot of pressure off of me to have to go figure out how to get to students and to do that, and it was all done by the organization that kind of runs the program within Rotary. So anyway, it's been a very interesting bit. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Cool. Thanks. Nancy's saying goodbye to everyone. She's already gone. Bye, Nancy. Emerson.
All right. Well, I was invited over the last 40 years to a number of Rotary meetings, but I always got, I couldn't get in because of the classification code till about 10 years ago when I became active in the Saddlebrook Rotary in north of Tucson, Arizona. I've been active there for about 10 years now, and I am a part-time, I guess, resident of Kauai. So when I'm there, we love our time with the Poipu Rotarians, and I always pronounce it wrong. So I'm a Kalea member.
Kolea.
Kolea. So I'm some sort of a bird that flies in, steals your food, and leaves.
Well, thank you for that.
And so, but I, participating in both organizations and be able to support it is a real gift. And getting to know everyone is the gift on top of the gift.
There you go. We've been glad you've been here. Thanks. John.
Is that me?
Oh, yes, John Ozus.
John Ozus, okay. Hey, Emerson, so I just wanted to let you know that we just finished building a house in Saddlebrook Ranch, and you probably know George Corrigan, who is a member of the Saddlebrook Rotary Club. Bless his soul.
Yep,
So we're going to become amigo members of that as soon as we can get up there, as soon as we can find a flight. So it'll be good to see you at some of the meetings. It's interesting to run into you. I'm let's see, I've been a Rotarian for 12 years with Honolulu Bay, and 4 years as foundation chair, then president, and 2 years now as international services chair.
Welcome. And we're sorry to see you guys leaving.
We're only going to be away half the year, and that may not even work out as things are going right now. So.
Yeah. Mike Curtis.
Sorry I didn't have a chance to do my hair, but I want to thank Branch for supporting Poipu Beach with a background of Shipwreck Beach. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure.
And I'd like to take the opportunity to invite everyone to our July 8th meeting, Kauai Kids in Crisis. With the financial impact of coronavirus and all this other stuff, it's like our hurricanes, except it's worldwide. And also when sugar shut down, the unemployment rate in Kaloa shot up and the families were distressed. Well, that's the situation today on Kauai, and I think the whole world. The kids are stressed because of the financial impact that are affecting the parents and food. Whereas I would invite everyone to attend our July 8th meeting, because we're going to address that Kauai Kids in Crisis. And I do Kids Christmas. We host 100 child and family service kids to a Christmas. We have about 30 high school kids help shop for Christmas gifts, take them back to Island School and wrap them. And then that Saturday morning, we offer the 100 child and family service kids a Kids Christmas with a bento breakfast, a movie, and a wrapped gift given to them by Santa Claus. So there are other opportunities to help the stressed families on Kauai. I invite you to join us for July 8th. Thank you.
Thanks. And also for you guys over on Oahu, it's a good one to join as well, because there will be some just general information. It won't be all Kauai focused. Becky.
Morning, everyone. It's Becky Fries. I've been a Rotarian for 31 years. I started at the New Lenox Club, which is in the south suburbs of Chicago, and was president of that club, plus every other job since it was a small club through the time I was there. Became a Rotarian at Poipu Beach in 2010 when my husband and I moved here. And Michael Carlson and I have shared the treasurer's jobs back and forth for the last few years. And unfortunately for me, we're going to have a new treasurer next year who's scared to death, but he'll do fine. I'll still be here. And Michael, will you still be here, or are you moving?
Probably another year, going to be around, but I'm always available as a consultant.
Yeah, and he's a great consultant, Craig. So I call him about every other day, even now. So
Awesome.
it's been great being the treasurer, but it's time to do something else. So
Yeah, there you go. And Gwen, who is muted. And maybe can't unmute.
Gwen, are you there?
Okay, HCR, that's also you, Michael, isn't it?
Yes.
I vouch that she's here, but
Okay. There she is. She's walking into the room. No? Okay. Okay. Well, I did just want to take some time to, hey, there she is. And she's disappearing. Oh.
Unmute.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea.
There you go.
I'm Gwen Margolis from formerly Kapa'a Rotary, now Honolulu Bay Rotary, and was Youth Services Committee for many years in Kapa'a. I enjoy being an active Rotary group of Honolulu with so many wonderful goals to help the island, and look forward to being with you guys again this summer.
Yeah, great. And first of all, thanks to the folks from Oahu who joined us, but also the folks from the other clubs on Kauai. Seeing 2 other clubs, well, 3 if we count the E Club, joining us, I think that's a really great sign of us really starting to come together. And I think one of the things that we can all look at is we can have impact in the world, but more people, more impact. So let's get out there and make some impacts. Any final thoughts? Claude, was that?
Rick, we should say Bill Brown.
I'm sorry?
William Brown.
Oh, is he here? I didn't even see him.
He went on, now he's off.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, there he is. Well, we're going to wrap it up. Sorry, Bill.
Yeah, me too. Sorry.
Hey, Bill.
All righty. Thanks, everyone. And next week, Ravi Ravindran, the incoming chairman of the Rotary Foundation. So if you are looking to get some more information on the foundation, that is a great one to join. And then as Mike Curtis mentioned, July 8th, Kids in Crisis. So thank you all. Go out. Have a great day.
Robbie is also a past Rotary president, so that's amazing. 2 presidents in a row.
Yeah. Well, 3. We had John Germ too, but who's counting?
3 in a row.
Ron's just an overachiever.
Good job, Ron.
I got one. I know this isn't Rotary bit, but Branch, since you didn't see my message, I went to a Lots Beach Elementary School, had a great time there. I don't see that name a lot. You got any family that had a school in Cincinnati, Ohio?
That's my great aunt Helen.
Wow.
The very tall, very large, dominating mistress of that school. Yeah, no, that was my great aunt and her husband Claude. I lived about a block from there and grew up, but didn't go to. I went to Clifton Elementary nearby.
Okay. Well,
Very interesting. We need to talk about that. I'd love to catch up with you and learn more about your experiences at Lots Beach.
When they moved the campus out to Red Bank Road, I went to the one there.
Wow.
Mike
Okay, so
Carlson.
now we all sing "It's a Small World," and then we end the call.
Mike
Ted
Carlson.
Whirl was the headmaster, and I had a phenomenal experience growing up there. It was awesome.
It brings real pleasure to me to hear that. It was an amazing school. Amazing woman.
Mike Carlson.
Thank you very much for hosting
Yes,
this.
sir.
This has been a marvelous morning.
When were you in Barbados? Early
Aloha,
90s?
everyone.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was there from 87 to 89.
Okay, we had a Rotary Club. We met in some guy's garage. It was only about 6 of us.
What were you doing down there?
I worked from Marriott at Sam Lord's Castle.
Oh, okay. I was with Atlanta Submarines. I was there.
Okay.
Pilot there.
Yeah, great operation. Amazing. That's wonderful.
Okay, cool. Good. Interesting. We may have crossed paths sometime at some social party or something.
Probably. Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Aloha,
All right.
guys.
Okay.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Aloha. Bye-bye.
Aloha.